like as you're working as a senior principal engineer and in semiconductor domain, so like that
Mm.
is a little different from AI analytics and all those things. You're working there, and also you are able to write many technical blogs, okay, and very many quality technical blogs. So where the motivation is coming from, so where the fuel is coming from basically.
Yeah, this is a good question. I think I get this question often. So there are two parts of these questions. If you think about it, one is about writing, and another is about high intensity work or a lot of work associated with it, right? So I will get to the writing at the end because that's the crux of it. But first, basically, why do I want to learn new things, which is a little different from my day-to-day job? Is basically it's very simple. The world is becoming. If you look at the world today, the world is experiencing technologies which are called transformative technologies. Uh, it's really going to change our lives as we know. It's not incremental improvements as we have seen for a long time.
Hmm.
So I basically want to keep it very simple and understand the forces and technologies actually that is touching my life deeply every day. Like very simple example is that when I started learning about some of these topics and just for as my hobby, and then when I open my Netflix, I never see the Netflix in the same light as before when I was learning, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I see now I'm clicking a profile change and thinking that, oh, well, it takes 20 seconds to go to another profile because it is drawing a completely different matrix and doing transformation on that, right? So I understand now. So this gives you a better feeling of how the technologies are touching your lives, how Amazon is recommending the books and stuff like that. So this is a different kind of feeling. So I want to study new concepts and tech and be relevant. And every industry will be like a data-driven industry. So and
Yeah.
so to be relevant and to be on top of my game,
Yeah.
no matter if you're a doctor or if you're an engineer, if you're a lawyer, even everything is going to be touched by these technologies. So that's what I plan to do. And now I come to the final thing is that writing that if I'm learning a new concept, I believe that until what's the best test that you have learned it really well is that basically you want to write or communicate that to like a 10-year-old, to a 10-year-old, right? Or a simple a teenager
Hmm.
who does not have background, but can you or are you able to express it in very simple words, the core
Hmm.
concept to a very layman or outside your field or outside this field, so that everybody gets to know about it. So that's the test of your learning, whether you are mastering the topic or not. So
Hmm.
that's why I take something, I do some little bit of work, I add value, and then I try to write a blog about it in my spare time. So I think that's
Yeah.
been my
That,
formula, and that's what I'm doing.
yeah, that answers the question. So also like the thing that you spoke at the last make me remember about a quote of Feynman, who's a very great teacher of physics. So
Right.
he said, if you don't understand anything very well, yeah, then you can't explain it in a simple way. So means if you are explaining things in a complex way, this means you don't understand that thing particularly like
Right.
really well. Yeah. So that's answer the question. Okay. So one thing in that I wanted to like get into depth of that. So what is the procedure you follow to write a blog? Like how you select a topic, how you like do the research on that. Like is there any methodology that you follow?
Yeah, actually, I mean, how I exactly select the topic is probably not very methodical in the sense that I come across something which I like and then I start, kind of think about it, working on it.
Hmm.
But it's actually not very complicated. If you like a topic, it could be something you know or you do not know. That's why you want to learn about
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
or others have already written. So basically, when I take a topic, I always try to learn, read books and stuff like that, and we can later on go on details how exactly
Hmm.
to do that. But
Hmm.
basically, you gather some material and you look on, say, online. You take a course or watch
Hmm.
some video, and even
Hmm.
if it's a technical topic or some problem solving kind of, you take a use case example from,
Hmm.
say, GitHub or something like that. And then always remember the fundamental thing about uh, learning is basically you have to add value to it. You should not only just practice someone else's work. This comes to me naturally from, I have been in a R&D field for a long time.
Yes.
I have, in IEEE or other all kinds of other societies I have contributed. The thing is that does not matter whether what field you are in. If
Hmm.
you are adding value, then
Hmm.
you are creating something new. So your new ideas. So you add the value, and then you want to write about it in the sense that basically so that everybody understands. Add some pictures, even if cartoon pictures, that's good, right? Uh, so I create some of the contents, and then I look for on the web, or kind of the platform that I'm writing into, say towards data science or KD Nuggets or anything like that, that whether they have already something available there or not. So that means my work should not become absolutely repetitive. Even if it is novel to me, it may not be novel and others have written excellent article, then it does not add value on the whole, right? So basically I take a look, and if I find that it's not there, or not there in the kind of in the same depth that I have created the content, and then I go ahead and kind of put that in, and generally have seen that becomes a good kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Makes
popular
sense.
article.
Makes sense. Okay, just a quick question on that. So, as you are writing for KT Nuggets towards data
Mhm.
science and many other also, so how one can like get their work published on towards data science, let's say.
Actually, I started early on Medium, say to 2017 that time, and Ludwig and Dipanjan, they are all there. They started actually towards data science that time.
Hmm.
They're like founding editors,
Hmm.
and I I would say that I got lucky with TDS in the sense that I was one of the early authors, kind of thing. That time it did not even, it started when it had like 1,000 followers, right, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And but it's just multiply, and also you other thing is that you have to be very helpful in the sense, in a way, in your persona to people, and build your good network on LinkedIn, so that
Hmm.
you get invitation from writing for the KD Nuggets. I did not approach Matthew, who was the long-term KD Nuggets editor.
Hmm.
He approached me that whether he can repost some of this my publications, and I said no problem. I mean it's a great publication, I know.
Yes.
So I said whatever help you need,
Hmm.
editing and something like that, I will do it. So
Hmm.
people will approach you if you start putting yourself in. I mean, I know a lot of the people who are watching this thing, they also have good ideas.
Hmm.
But 90% of the time we think that what's the point, right? I mean,
Yes.
I am doing my job, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting paid for it, and then I will not get paid for writing or something like that. Then why do it, right? But if you really want to go there, there has to be a lot of process involved there. And so this is a advice for junior engineer, that basically you have to put in a lot of writing. Start with even do not target for very highly cited journals, or
Hmm.
kind of publication
Yeah.
platforms. You can start there are so many things on mediums and other blog posts right now, so many outlets.
Hmm.
Start somewhere,
Yes.
and then approach some of the editors and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
you'll get noticed for sure if you have good content.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think I was also trapped in that particular dogma when I was in my college. So I'm 2017 pass out. So this
Mhm.
idea of making video podcast was there in my mind since I was in like third year, but I was like shifting it, finding out like how I can like do it later, why it is not required right now, something like that. But then like few months back I decided that if I am not going to start, someone will else will go to start, like will start this particular thing. Why not I should start this? So
Sure. I mean, it's a differentiator in the sense that people write blogs. You are doing a video blog or video kind of
yes.
podcast. It does not matter. You started small, but you will be cited as 5 years from now. People will say couple of those guys. Among them, Sachin was like one of the earlier who
Yeah.
started, like early mover there, right? So that
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. So let's just move to the next point. So as you're you're working as senior principal engineer. Other than that, you're also doing MS in analytics, right? So
Mhm.
what's the motivation behind that? Like why MS is needed?
Yeah, so as I mean, if you go through my profile, you'll see this is a funny thing from me when I started MS. A lot of people ask me why, because I have a PhD from a top university in the
Hmm.
US.
Yes.
That was done like 10 years back. So it's
Okay.
learning never stops in your life. So I can say, okay, I have done PhD, I have a doctorate done, right? I mean, what else you can do after PhD? You can do another PhD maybe, right?
Okay.
But like a master's doing after PhD, I made a fun of it because I did my PhD just after my undergraduate from
Okay.
IIT, and I never had a master's degree. I had to do direct PhD, and that was a great honor for me to directly get into the PhD program after undergraduate.
Hmm.
So I completed that, but I made fun that I never had a master, so I'm doing another master. But that's not it. In the
Okay.
sense that my PhD was in electrical engineering, and in EE also it is more on the physical electronic side kind of thing, semiconductor and stuff like that. So, and a lot of people I know currently coming into data science are from that kind of background, is that physics maybe, or economics, or other disciplines, who wants to get into there. I am not saying that doing an MS is a must or something like that. It does not require the degree, but I thought that I will give it a try. It's an online one, and it's there is two choices there in computer science and analytics. Now, I specifically chose analytics because it covers something from the business department also. So you get to learn about business analytics, you get to learn about computational data analytics, big data, and stuff like that. And you get to learn from the operations research department, which is a great department in the Georgia Tech University that I'm doing it from. It's the top one in the nation. So it gives you holistic purpose perspective. And I think doing a lot of applied things on the side in your job, but also you get to learn some of the core theory, and they are extremely valuable to keep you grounded where you are going, and you can find patterns of what the work you are doing if you know a little bit theory behind it. They are very important. And if you have not done study in that kind of fields like computation or big data or that kind of thing in a academic setting, then some of the things will be very helpful. So I think it has been helping me so far. So I'm just in the middle of it, and it will take 1.5, 2 more years, because I'm just taking one course at a time per semester, 3 courses a year. So you can take it lightly, and this is one of a good course. So you can search around if the financial part is okay to you. You can give it a try, this one or any other things.
I really loved your point when you said this is not mandatory. So like most of the time people like, see, if a person is doing this thing, let me just blindly go and follow that. So you have you decided for yourself why you want to do that. Then you found a use case or whatever things that you wanted to learn that you found lacking in you, or you wanted to improve it further, you went for that. It's just not because doing MS will get you a good job, high paying jobs. It should never be like that. It should be like, okay, now you are at A stage, you are stuck at A stage. You are not, or like you want to improve from A stage to B stage. Now you like moving to this A stage to B stage. This is the path which can lead to B stage at a faster rate. So you chose that. Yeah, and like it should never be in a blind way. Like, okay, I have to do MS because everyone is doing MS.
Yeah, I have a very simple example there is that basically at my career, I'm a senior principal engineer. That means at my age and career, it's very normal for people to do MBA. Right? Never an MS or technical subject like that, because I want to be next manager or something like that. Now, somehow MBA is great, and I have great respect for managerial positions. They work with people's manager, but I think myself more as a technical contributor kind of person. So I said, no, not MBA, but I will take something which, of course, data science and this kind of stream is also very important to have a business perspective. You always have to do business optimization in data science or applied data science. So it's a mixed kind of thing. So I just chose that. I mean, whatever, it does not matter whether I will get a promotion out of it or something like that, but something for learning. Of course, you have to take care of the financial part is not too much burden. So something like that. And if you, Sachin, you have later questions about MOOCs and other kind of free resources, I'll talk about that. So it's very important that you judge and weigh whether you are getting fully out of the program, whether you're paying or not, because MOOCs and other stuff, I always try to do free, right? I never take a paid course for there, and I will talk about it later. But that's my philosophy.
Sure. So okay, that answers the part of that. If someone has some more queries regarding that, they can let me know. I'll forward that query to him, and I'll also put your, if you allow, I can also, like, if I'll put your LinkedIn profile in the video description. So if someone wants to reach out to you, sure. Okay. So let's